Welcome back to our channel for another deep dive into the captivating world of daytime drama. Today is a beautiful day to unravel the complex web of secrets, ambition, and heartbreak unfolding in Los Angeles. We are thrilled to bring you the latest insights into your favorite characters. Let us explore the magnificent and turbulent events awaiting us in the upcoming episode. The episode scheduled for Wednesday, May 6th, 2026, promises to deliver a masterclass in emotional storytelling as the tension within the Forrester and Logan dynasties reaches an absolute boiling point. The glittering facade of the Los Angeles fashion industry is cracking under the weight of monumental egos, fractured sisterhoods, and desperate individuals backed into terrifying corners. We are witnessing a narrative landscape where every corporate decision bleeds into personal devastation, and every olive branch is laden with the heavy thorns of past betrayals. The atmosphere is thick with anticipation, painting a vivid picture of a world where loyalty is a fragile commodity and ambition threatens to consume everyone in its path. At the very heart of this brewing storm is the escalating corporate warfare between Forrester Creations and the newly triumphant Logan brand. This is no longer merely a battle over fabric and runway shows. It is a profound struggle for identity, legacy, and respect. The sheer magnitude of Katie Logan Spencer and Bill Spencer launching a globally successful fashion collection using Eric Forrester designs has fundamentally altered the power dynamics in this glamorous universe. The shockwaves of this success are tearing through the very foundation of the Logan family, turning sisters into strategic adversaries and forcing everyone to choose a side in a war that promises no true victors. Brooke Logan-Forrester finds herself standing at the precipice of an agonizing emotional chasm. For weeks, she has been a vocal opponent of Katie's ruthless business maneuvers, vehemently condemning the use of Eric's legacy designs without proper authorization. Yet, the relentless pressure of the situation and the radicalization of her own daughter, Hope Logan Spencer, are forcing Brooke to reevaluate her rigid stance. Hope has been marginalized and condescended to by Steffi Forrester Finnegan for the last time, and her righteous fury is beginning to seep into Brooke's consciousness. Brooke is slowly realizing that her blind loyalty to the Forrester empire might be costing her the family she holds dearest. Driven by a potent mixture of maternal instinct and lingering sisterly guilt, Brooke decides to extend a conditional olive branch to Katie. This gesture is fraught with immense psychological complexity and deep-seated emotional baggage. Brooke is not merely apologizing. She is attempting to negotiate a fragile ceasefire in a corporate war she inadvertently helped escalate. She recognizes that her lack of support during Katie's monumental launch deeply wounded her sister, leaving a scar that cannot easily be ignored. However, Brooke's olive branch is heavily burdened by her enduring allegiance to Ridge Forrester and the overarching Forrester legacy, making it a transactional offering rather than a genuine surrender of her pride. Katie Logan Spencer, emboldened by the massive global triumph of her fashion line, is no longer the overshadowed younger sister willing to accept scraps of affection. When Brooke presents her carefully constructed peace offering, Katie sees right through the superficiality of a gesture. Katie flatly rejects the olive branch, delivering a devastating blow to Brooke's hopes of a quick and painless reconciliation. The rejection is not born of pure malice or vindictiveness, but of a profound, aching desire for genuine validation. Katie does not want a transactional truce negotiated across corporate battle lines. She desperately wants her older sister to look at her monumental achievements and feel a sense of unadulterated pride. The psychological landscape of Katie Logan Spencer is a fascinating study in ambition and lingering emotional wounds. She has finally stepped out of the long, suffocating shadows cast by Brooke and the formidable Forrester machine. With Bill Spencer acting as her ruthless shield and Liam Spencer providing strategic genius, Katie is building an unstoppable empire. Yet, the victory tastes remarkably hollow without the genuine, unconditional support of her blood relatives. By rejecting Brooke's olive branch, Katie is drawing a definitive boundary in sand. She is demanding that if Brooke wants to be in her life, she must accept Katie as a formidable equal, not a misguided sibling who needs to be brought back into the Forrester fold. Caught in the crossfire of this escalating sisterly war is Donna Logan, who serves as the tragic, silent observer of her family's disintegration. Donna watches in absolute horror as Katie's relentless ambition and Brooke's stubborn righteousness tear the once unbreakable Logan bond to shreds. Donna desperately pleads for unity, terrified that the damage being inflicted during this corporate power struggle will be permanent and irreversible. She represents the emotional collateral damage of ambition, a poignant reminder that while fashion empires can be built and destroyed in a single season, the shattering of a family leaves deep emotional scars that endure for a lifetime. The tension between the Logan sisters is inextricably linked to the impending corporate earthquake surrounding Hope Logan Spencer's defection to the Logan brand. Hope has reached her absolute breaking point with Steffi Forrester Finnegan's condescending leadership and the repeated, humiliating stalling of the Hope for the Future line. Pushed to the absolute edge of her patience, Hope is preparing to detonate a bomb that will cripple Forrester Creations from the inside out. Her potential move to Katie's fashion house is not just a career change. It is a profound declaration of war. This move threatens to deepen the family rifts exponentially, turning a corporate rivalry into a deeply personal blood feud that will consume everyone involved. If Hope officially accepts the position at Logan, Brooke will be violently torn between her fierce love for her daughter and her dedication to her husband. Brooke has always been Hope's ultimate defender, acting as her corporate sword whenever Steffi launches an attack. However, fully supporting Hope's defection means actively cheering for the destruction of Ridge's company and legacy. Brooke will be forced to navigate an impossible emotional labyrinth, trying to champion her daughter's newfound empowerment while simultaneously attempting to placate a furious and betrayed Ridge. This is a terrifying tightrope walk over an active volcano, and Brooke's history heavily suggests that she may not emerge entirely unscathed from the impending eruption. The historical context of Brooke and Ridge's relationship adds a layer of profound dread to this impending conflict. Whenever the chasm between Hope and Steffi widens, the marriage of Brooke and Ridge inevitably suffers catastrophic, sometimes irreparable damage. The battle lines drawn by their daughters invariably become the fault lines in their own fragile relationship. Longtime viewers vividly remember the last time a major conflict erupted over Hope. Ridge, unable to handle the emotional turmoil and feeling utterly betrayed by Brooke's unwavering defense of her daughter, sought immediate solace in the familiar, comforting arms of Taylor Hayes. The pattern of Ridge fleeing the marital home when the pressure mounts is a dark, ominous cloud hanging over their current stability. The specter of Taylor Hayes looms incredibly large over the current narrative, even if she is currently entangled in a blossoming romance with Deacon Sharp. Ridge possesses a deeply ingrained psychological reflex to seek Taylor's validating, uncritical presence whenever Brooke challenges his authority or sides against the Forrester family's best interests. If Brooke stands by Hope during this monumental corporate defection, it is entirely plausible that Ridge will view it as the ultimate, unforgivable betrayal. The burning question is whether Ridge will once again use Hope's rebellious actions as a convenient, familiar excuse to shatter his vows and run back to Taylor, thereby detonating his marriage to Brooke all over again. Complicating the potential Ridge and Taylor dynamic is the terrifying, silent presence of Sheila Carter. Sheila has been maintaining a chilling, week-long silence, meticulously crafting a devastating plot to destroy Deacon and Taylor's relationship from the shadows. If Ridge suddenly re-enters Taylor's orbit, seeking emotional refuge from the Forrester and Logan war, it could inadvertently play right into Sheila's diabolical, calculating hands. The intersecting trajectories of these complex characters create a volatile mixture of jealousy, ambition, and obsession, guaranteeing that the fallout from Hope's defection will reach far beyond the corporate boardroom and seep into the deepest, darkest corners of their personal lives. While the billionaires of Los Angeles wage war over fashion lines and corporate titles, a much darker and more visceral struggle is unfolding for Melissa Dillon. Dillon is currently trapped in a suffocating, waking nightmare, utterly cornered by the terrifying revelation that her anonymous stalker is none other than Remy Price. Remy is not a random stranger. He is a dangerous figure from her past who holds the absolute key to her destruction. He helped her secure her previous art teacher job, and he is now ruthlessly weaponizing that past favor to orchestrate a sinister, inescapable blackmail scheme. The psychological toll on Dillon is immense. She is paralyzed by the overwhelming fear of losing her job at Forrester Creations and being thrust back into the unforgiving, brutal grip of homelessness. Remy Price's demands represent a terrifying quid pro quo that forces Dillon into a devastating moral and ethical dilemma. He is aggressively demanding that she do his dirty work, threatening to expose her hidden past to the Forrester family if she dares to refuse his commands. Dillon is a woman hanging by a fraying thread, desperate to maintain the fragile stability she has managed to build after a lifetime of hardship. The sheer terror of her situation is palpable, painting a stark, depressing contrast to the glamorous problems of her wealthy employers. She is being crushed under the immense weight of an impossible choice, knowing that compliance will corrupt her soul, while defiance will completely destroy her life. Just as the walls seem to be closing in completely on Melissa Dillon, an unexpected and highly volatile variable enters the equation in the form of Daphne Rose Walton. Daphne is currently drowning in her own profound sea of grief, devastated by severe infertility struggles that are slowly but surely eroding her mental health. The desperation of failing to conceive a child with Carter Walton has pushed Daphne into a dark, unpredictable psychological space where rationality is beginning to slip away. In the upcoming episode, Daphne presents Dillon with an incredibly intriguing, yet undeniably dangerous, offer. This unexpected proposal arrives at the exact moment Dillon is desperately searching for any possible lifeline to pull her out of Remy's grasp. Daphne's offer is a masterclass in chaotic timing and misplaced desperation. For Dillon, it initially appears to be the only visible escape route from Remy Price's suffocating blackmail and relentless pressure. However, stepping through the door Daphne has so willingly opened might simply be trading one form of psychological captivity for another. Daphne is acting out of a deep, unhealed trauma, and her motivations are heavily clouded by her desperate yearning for a child and a desperate need to regain control over her fractured reality. Whatever Daphne is proposing, it heavily threatens to pull Dillon back into a vortex of chaos, forcing her into an unwanted future simply because her present reality is entirely unendurable. The thematic brilliance of the storyline intertwining Melissa Dillon and Daphne Rose Walton lies in the profound, heartbreaking parallel of their mutual desperation. Both women are fundamentally trapped by circumstances entirely beyond their immediate control. Dillon is trapped by the inescapable sins of her past and the predatory nature of Remy Price, while Daphne is trapped by the cruel biological betrayal of her own body. When two desperately cornered individuals collide in such a spectacular fashion, the resulting explosion is bound to cause massive, unpredictable collateral damage. Daphne's offer is not an act of pure altruism. It is a highly calculated move born of profound sorrow, and Dillon is vulnerable enough to accept it without fully understanding the devastating, long-term cost. As the complex narratives of this episode converge, the landscape of the bold and the beautiful is forever altered. The firm rejection of Brooke's olive branch by Katie solidifies a bitter, perhaps permanent familial divide, perfectly setting the stage for a ruthless corporate war that will inevitably shatter marriages and test loyalties to their absolute limits. Hope's impending defection threatens to be the ultimate catalyst that finally breaks Ridge and Brooke apart, potentially sending Ridge spiraling back into a dangerous, familiar romantic cycle with Taylor. Simultaneously, the dark, desperate pact forming between Melissa Dillon and Daphne Rose Walton promises to unleash a brand new wave of psychological torment upon the canvas. The drama is escalating to unprecedented heights, ensuring that the upcoming weeks leading into the highly anticipated May sweeps will be nothing short of extraordinary. Every character is being pushed to their absolute breaking point, forced to confront their deepest fears and their darkest desires. The glamorous world of Los Angeles fashion has never looked so treacherous, and the emotional stakes have never been higher. As alliances crumble and new, dangerous partnerships are forged in the fires of desperation. The viewers are left breathless, eagerly anticipating the next shocking twist in this magnificent saga of